Hey y'all, and welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. And in today's video, I'm very excited to be diving into the new revamped Menagerie Cosmetics Killer Purr palette. Now, this isn't the first time I'm using it. I actually took it on a trip with me, so I've used it for like 5-6 days. But the first time I'm getting to use it on camera, so I'm excited to dive into it. If you need a refresher to what the original palette looked like, it's very beat up. I should just toss the broken shade because I didn't even like that. But it had two shimmers full of mattes, and both of the shimmers I did not like, and they were very similar in color. So this revamp has me very excited because it still kind of keeps to what the original had, but it has a few more pops of colors. It has a few more shimmers in there, and the shimmer formula, spoiler alert, we're going to get into it, but it's really, really nice. And overall, I just feel like it's very well done to kind of refresh what the Killer Purr, the original, was lacking. I feel like they did a good job. I want to play with this palette and just talk to you guys a little bit about some stuff that's on my mind. I've been seeing a lot of the influencer drama concerning a certain influencer and a mascara and some false advertising, and it's just been something I've been thinking about, so we'll chit chat about it as I do my makeup and play with the revamped Killer Purr palette. So instead of a kitten interruption today, we have a baby interruption. Can you believe it? Sophia hit 5. Oh, that's kind of gross. Let me fix that. Excuse me, pretend you didn't see that. But Sophia hit 5 months old the other day, and it hit me that she is like a month away from being half a year old. And it's crazy. Like, the past 5 months have just flown by. So much has been happening around here. But yeah, she's getting so big. You're not a baby anymore. What's up with that? So, she doesn't want to go to sleep right now. I'm going to see if she wants to hang out with me a little bit. Maybe play with her toys on the floor. And then we'll try again in a few minutes. But we might have a little cameo here and there. What do you think? Okay, so this palette is so pretty. I think I'm going to stick to getting as colorful as I can get. It's still a pretty neutral palette, but you can definitely get some pops in there. I want to use this blue over here that I'm pointing to with my eyeball apparently, but that nice blue, what's it called, watering hole. And we're going to use Mighty Roar, which is this top color right here, dark one right over there for the outer corner. And then I think I'll probably do a little bit of yellow, this yellow, and the green, what is that called? Baobab in my inner corner. Oh, that shade is so pretty. I accidentally touched Drought. Are they both multi-chromes on the top here? I don't think so. I don't even know if they're full-on multi-chromes. I guess maybe they're more duochromes because they have like a little shift. I forget how many colors it needs to shift in order to be a multi-chrome. I don't know. They're very shifty and beautiful. That's what I know for sure. And then the other two in here are just really nice shimmers. And I was very pleasantly surprised and pleased with the formula of all these shimmers. It's been so nice to see Menagerie Cosmetics really improving their formula recently and listening to customer feedback, because that was definitely the biggest thing over the years of them releasing palettes. Everyone was always like, oh, that shimmer formula is not it. And also, you know, I've heard many people review their matte formula and say it's too pigmented, so I have been noticing their recent formulas have been a little bit softer, so they are listening to customer feedback. I really enjoyed the intense pigmentation of their old formula, so it makes me a little bit sad to see their formula being a little bit thinner, but you know, they're listening to customer feedback, and just because the customer feedback isn't going my way, I shouldn't complain about it too much. It's still a nice quality formula, but it's just not as crazy intense as in the olden days. But this shade right here, which is Mighty Roar, the deepest in the palette, is very nice. Again, it's a little bit more softly pigmented. Like, it's not as crazy intense as like the OG palettes used to be. I think, what was it? Whale Song? I think that was their most intense for like staining type of formula, but it might just been because it was blues and greens that they stained so bad. Oh, don't touch that baby girl. She's trying to go for it. Anyway, I want to talk about the whole drama, and I love your guys' feedback because I'm not someone who really follows the influencer in question, which is, I don't even know her like last name for her page, but Mikayla. And she did a collab with Glamlight. I never really heard about her. I remember seeing some, you know, videos of her floating around, but she was mostly on TikTok, and I'm not on TikTok, so I didn't really notice her or like know of her for a while until around when I saw her before the Glamlight collab, but I didn't know much about her except that she was a TikTok makeup TikToker. And honestly, I thought she was kind of like a parody first. Like the first couple TikToks I saw her floating around, I thought she was like a parody channel because, or you know, that type of, I don't know if parody is the right word, but where you take it to, you take some, you know, what people do to such an extreme to kind of show how silly we can be. So like in makeup, she was always like the couple that I first saw was always like so, whatever she was trying was just out of this world, like like life-changing, that type of thing. I thought she was kind of, you know, doing it to kind of, you know, poke fun at the fact that like YouTubers, I feel like beauty YouTubers can often just go, you know, take something like a typical eyeshadow and just talk about how life-changing it can be. But the more I watched it, it was just kind of like her personality was just always kind of that over the top. And not to say that in a bad way, but I was just explaining how I first found out about her. And then with, I'm gonna go into that green now. Oh, actually I wanna do watering hole. I'm gonna stick watering hole on the inner half. I totally forgot that I wanna use watering hole. Why did I blank about that when we were first talking? We're gonna go into that really intense color there, and then we'll see if I wanna stick anything on top of this. Anyway, what was I saying? That was how I first heard about her, and then, yeah, she was just very, her personality and whatnot, and just like the level of energy she had whenever she did TikTok videos was like very, you know, upbeat and, you know, infectious, that type of, just super happy seems to come across on camera, and super excited about everything. And so I totally see why she grew, and then also she's just amazing at makeup, and that's why after, I think it was after the Glam Light, the first Glam Light collab, I started following her because I really liked her, how she kind of, the look she came up with, but like the color combos and color placements I really liked. Look how intense and beautiful that is. So I started following her to kind of see the looks that she comes up with and publishes, because I like to save them to a folder on my my Instagram page, so I can kind of go there if I ever want some inspiration with the palette. I'm taking that yellow, obviously. But anyway, that's when I started following her, but I don't like follow her to the point where I'm keeping up with her, obviously, because I didn't know about anything about that until SEPHORA said something about she's going to be her next deep dive, which I'm very curious about, because obviously I just said I don't know much about her. And then, what's her name? T-Spill. Posted a video on the whole drama currently going on with the mascara, the infamous mascara that I just ordered from Ulta Beauty, because it looks like a mascara that I'll like, and I feel like that type of mascara does really well with my lashes, and I'm curious. But I was looking on Ulta's website for new mascaras, and I saw that one. I was like, ooh, I had seen Jen Phelps' video about it, gosh, in December, was it? November? And I've been very curious to try it anyway, and I finally made an Ulta Beauty order, so I picked that up. But anyway, apparently she did an ad for them and oversold it in a deceptive way of like saying that she wasn't wearing false lashes, but it appears she does. And I've looked at the videos a lot, and it does look like she has false lashes, because there's something to like a mascara doing a lot, but it can't give you those like perfectly defined lashes, and it does look like it has those kind of, the way false lashes, you know how they kind of evenly spread out and whatnot, have this little like offshoot from the center. It does look like that. I haven't seen her say anything like Mikayla come out and say like, oh yeah, I did, I'm sorry, or anything like that at this point, but it does look like it. I will say though, watch Jen Phelps' video. I'll leave a link down below, because she did it, and like I don't think she did any cuts. That, I mean, it's been a while since I watched the video, but I'm pretty sure she just showed her applying it, you know, in real time and whatnot, and it did some pretty incredible things to her lashes. Now, they looked a lot more like believable built up than Mikayla's, but it does seem like a pretty incredible mascara, so I'm excited to get it to try out. But just everything going down, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, I don't follow Mikayla, and apparently she's done this before, has a lot of drama. So like I said, SEPHORA is going to be doing a deep dive, and I will most definitely be watching that. I think I'm going to take this yellow all the way in, because I'm curious to see what happens when it mixes with this watering hole shade. Sophia, oh, it's turning green, like a bright green. Why I thought that wouldn't happen, I don't know, but I just didn't think. Anyway, SEPHORA, I will be looking forward to her video, since she's gonna do all the footwork on everything that she's been involved with. Because like I said, I don't follow her, so I had no idea she was involved with drama. I just saw a couple of her videos trying things on, her makeup transitions, and she seemed like, with the few videos that I'd watched, to be a very upfront and, you know, honest influencer and whatnot, just saying it like it is. To a certain degree though, because like I said, the way she was talking, like everything was just so maybe I'm just cynical a little bit, but like when it comes to makeup, I know I go on and on about like how much I like it, and that's what I want to talk about in this video, because I feel like even I can forget and like hype up a palette too much. Because at the end of the day, sometimes like I'll be editing the videos and I'll like be watching myself, and I try to cut it out and just delete those sections where I'm going on too much about a palette, like giving you guys unrealistic expectations. But like sometimes I'm listening to myself and I'm like, Katie, come on, it's a palette. Like it's not that deep. But I feel like she often would do that in her videos whenever I watched a couple of them of like, you know, a highlighter palette, and you'd see it be so blinding with all her lights and like nice camera quality and filters and be like, wow, that looks amazing. And then I have to remind myself like, okay, is it gonna look any different than the 50 highlighters I have in my drawer? Like probably not. It's just if I took any of those palettes out or any of those highlighters out and put it with those lights and that filter and at that angle, it'd probably look just as amazing. But anyway, I'm curious to hear what you guys think about the whole hubbub, if you are at all like abreast of the situation, or just in general with influencers and reviewing, because like I definitely know that I'm guilty of, like I said, you know, taking it too seriously, I guess would be a good way to say it. I want to go in, I've just been playing with those 3 shades, but I'm going to go in with a little bit more of a detail brush, and I want to go into Antelope, which is right here, and I'm just going to put it between this dark brown and the yellow. And Sophia's still here, just looking around, chilling on my lap. She's getting a little bit antsier, but for the most part, just her head's in the way, but for the most part, she's very chill. But yeah, like I said, sometimes I think I'll get too, not caught up in it, but you know, just trying it out. And I mean, honestly, like when eyeshadows are this nice, where it's just so effortless to get them to blend, they're so pigmented, and then they have such a good color story that I get fun looks, like I do get really excited. And sometimes I think too excited, but it's not like with any malintent, I guess you could say, like when I'm getting super excited. But at the same time, like I said, I have to remind myself, like, it's just eyeshadow, Katie. Like, it's not, it shouldn't be that revolutionary or that life-changing as much as I might be making it sound. So it's definitely something that, like I said, I try to keep aware of as I'm doing reviews and stuff like that, especially when I get to the like best palettes of the year, the palettes that I just love so much, or like I loved so much from the year. I do know that sometimes I'm like, okay, Katie, you're going a little bit too overboard. Like, it's just a palette. You could probably get this look and do the looks with many other palettes or singles in other people's collections. Like, you don't need this palette, but you know, it's palettes that I try. And since I am an influencer in the sense that I like to try new makeup and give you guys reviews, like I try a lot of palettes, and I feel like that does lend me to kind of get super excited when one just like blows my socks off in a way. But kind of like with this Killer Purr palette, it's so nice. But is it like better than the Ace Beauté Vintage Dawn palette? Is it better than the, I'm trying to think of palettes that are similar, the Hudson Valley palette from Nomad? Like, they're all really good quality and similar color stories that you could get similar looks out of. But I wouldn't say that like this one's so revolutionary that it would put those others to shame, if you know what I mean. Anyway, all that to say, like, influencers, you know, unethical influencers and promoting, I definitely think that there was some shady stuff going on with Mikayla. I'll be curious to see if she makes a comment on it, and like I said, to get the deep dive to hear what else she's been involved with. But it just really got me thinking as I was watching T-Spill's video and looking at the TikToks and whatnot about how like hype she was getting about how like life-changing the mascara was, and then to see that it, you know, when at least a first coat before she cut and what looked like falsies were put on, I mean, it just looked like a typical. It looked like a really good mascara, but it was just a typical mascara. Like, you can get a lot of bad mascaras and that do absolutely nothing. I just threw away the I Heart Revolution Tasty Avocado Mascara. That was terrible. Like, it would just coat my lashes, but it didn't do anything. Like, it barely tinted them. So you can get a lot of bad mascaras for sure that do nothing, but there are so many really good mascaras that it's like, I don't know, when they're all so good, is there really one that's that life-changing, that's that different? I feel like I have a lot of loves like when it comes to mascaras, but there are like 5 or 6 of them that I would like, there's not one that's better than the other. I just love them all because they do great things for my lashes. But it's not like one outdoes them all, if that makes sense. Anyway, I have no like set, you know, talking points for this video. I was just kind of wanted to talk about it because like I said, I was watching the video this morning. Super curious to, oh really? Super curious to hear y'all's thoughts about it and see what you guys think. Because you guys are, you know, the consumer in that you're like watching these videos to try to figure out which palette you want to get. And I think that's the thing that we as influencers can often forget, because not only do we get sent stuff, but like I get sent a good bit, but I do also buy a good bit. But when it's your job, it's like I'm used to buying it, so it's not quite the impact on me as someone else who isn't an influencer, and therefore the things they buy they're actually buying to like use completely all of it and want to make sure they get their money out of it, if that makes sense. Like I think that's something I myself, she's looking at herself in the mirror, need to remind myself about, because it's very easy to forget when you're, you know, buying makeup, because you review makeup and you're buying it, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, this is really, she's really smiling in here. This is really, really good, but then I, you know, take a step back and it's like, okay, is it any better than the 10 other palettes that I've recommended recently? That type of thing. So that's where I think as influencers, there's definitely this disconnect for me, or like this aspect that I need to constantly be reminding myself about, because a lot of people watch YouTube videos to get recommendations, to just buy that 1 or 2 things to add to their collection, to complete their collection. They're not crazy about eyeshadow palettes and want to try every new eyeshadow palette that comes out like me. Anyway, let's put on this shimmer, and I want to use 2 shimmers, okay, Sophia? 2 shimmers, okay? I can't lift you up this high. Here, sit on my boob, because, oh, this girl's getting heavy. There we go. Maybe we'll do that. Okay, I want to do 2 shimmers. Should we do, no, you don't like that, okay. She didn't like that. I want to do like Lioness, because that green yellow right there is so pretty, but I kind of also want to do one of these shifty shades. Let's see if I can show you guys the shift. Does that, I don't think that comes across on camera, maybe a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, this one comes across on camera a little bit, the blue to green. Maybe we can do the blue to green, but then I won't get to use that Lioness. We could put Lioness somewhere else. I'm gonna do Main on the inner corner. I'm gonna do Drought, which is this one, mostly all over the lid, and then we'll use Lioness on the inner portion. Let me see if she wants to play on the ground for a little bit. All right, and I'm not gonna put on any glitter primer because it's half a day, but I was using glitter primer with it, and I was very pleased with the wear time. I'm gonna go, let's do this first, the top color, which is Drought. I'm very pleased. I would get, you know, a little bit of transfer up into my brows throughout the day, but nothing too bad, nothing creasy. It's a very smooth formula. I've been super happy with this formula. Like look how nicely pigmented that is, just that first swipe right there. Nothing like their old formula, in my opinion, when it comes to the shimmers. It's a very smooth, finely milled, easy to pick up with a brush, and easy to apply as well type of formula. That's, I don't know if I already said it, but nicely pigmented as well. Very pretty. Yeah, Sophia? I gave her one of those black and white books that crinkle and stuff, so if you hear little noises, that'll be her looking at her book, getting all smart and stuff. So anyway, I feel like I've been going around in circles a little bit when it comes to influencers, because I feel like, yeah, yes, I'm an influencer, but I'm also such a tiny influencer who really just, I'm not really looking to make it big, make it this my job, or even, you know, be able to take this to any type of professional level when it comes to like makeup brands and collabs and stuff like that. I just really enjoy eyeshadow palettes. I enjoy getting to try new ones. I enjoy seeing what type of looks that I can get. So I try to keep my channel to the point where I can fund my own obsession, I guess you could say. So in a way, I often feel like a consumer in that aspect of like, no, I'm not really an influencer. I'm just someone who really likes eyeshadow palettes. Gonna go into Lioness next. So I feel like I'm right there in the middle, because yeah, it's really hard for me to see myself as a influencer sometimes, and even when I think about it, sometimes too hard, and I'll even say it in videos of like, you know, you got to make the decision for yourself. I'm just giving you the information so you can decide. I try not to use, and I'm sure I fail a lot, but I try not to use those, you know, oh my goodness, you got to go get this, or this is a must-have, or this is the best palette ever. Try not to use those type of words, and I try to just review it. Hello down there. You know, review it for the quality it is, and then, you know, review the color story as far as the type of looks that I'm able to get, and then that way I can leave the rest in the consumer's hands, or whoever's watching me's hands, to decide if it's for them. Because I always get a little annoyed as a consumer when influencers kind of talk about a product to the point where it's like, oh my goodness, you need this, like it's launching this day, make sure you run and get it type of thing. And it's like, well, how do you know that I need that? Like, I get that you like it, but I might not like the same things you like, or my lashes might not do the same things you do, or like my way of doing my eyeshadow might not be the same way you do your eyeshadow, so therefore it's going to be different for me. So I always try to be careful with my language when I'm talking about palettes and reviewing them. I feel like I'm right there in the middle when it comes to being an influencer and being a consumer. So there's often times when people talk about like, oh, influencers this, or oh, consumers this, that I feel like I can relate and understand both sides of it because I'm kind of like right there in the middle. And even like people who I would call friends here on YouTube, there's definitely some that really like certain formulas that I just know I don't. And it's not that I don't trust them when they talk about how much they like it. I just know we have different preferences. So I always take that into consideration when it comes to palettes and whatnot, or like products. And like with Mikayla, I knew I wouldn't like most of her like skin products because she likes a glowy, really a glowy look. But I know a lot of people also do take people's words very seriously when they're recommending it, which is like, when I think about that too long, I'm like, oh goodness, that's a lot of pressure. Because I really hate the idea of steering you guys wrong. Like, I seriously do. There's so many times that I'll get a comment on a video of like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, this helped me, I purchased this because of your recommendation. And I'm always like, like, I hope you like it. And it's not that I'm like not telling you guys the truth like in my videos at all, but that's a lot of pressure. And like, we're all so different. I'm like, well, what if something I like you don't like? And like, did I make sure I was very thorough with the way I explained it? Because what if they don't like a certain type of formula, or if I forgot to explain this type of formula and then they get it and hate it and they're like, oh my goodness, how did you steer me wrong? Sometimes I can get a little too wrapped up with it and get really stressed out at the idea or the thought of like steering you guys wrong, and it stresses me out a little bit. Anyway, let's go ahead. I'm gonna put a little bit of brown here, and then I wanna take that watering hole because putting that yellow with it kinda, I mean, it's still blue. Really, Sophia? Tell me all about it. It's still blue up there, but it's a little bit closer to that. It's really close to that green. And I want it to stand out as the blue watering hole that I see. So I'm gonna put it and let it shine on the lower lash line. But anyway, all that to say, I really just wanted to do this video and have this topic be the topic of the video because I really want to hear from you guys. Because like I said, I'm kind of right there in the middle. So I feel like I'm probably blind to a lot of things you guys see as consumers because I maybe excuse them since I am part of that influencer world. But I'd love to hear, she is trying to suck on everything down there. I'd love to hear what you guys think of the whole situation, and if you saw it happen. What's the matter? If you saw it go down, were you following Mikayla before? I feel like from what information we have right now, it's kind of a no-brainer in that she was pretty deceptive in using false lashes, or at least some lash enhancer, and maybe even not false lashes, maybe just like lash dots. What? No, not dots. Individual lashes? Is that what they're called? Can you tell I wear lashes a lot? But maybe she just used a couple of them to enhance it. So I'm really not disputing that. I mean, not that it's matters what I think, but I'm just curious what you guys think of her as an influencer. Like, and who are the big influencers when it comes to like who you take recommendations for? Because like I said, I wasn't really following Mikayla at all, but apparently from everything I'm reading about this whole drama, like a lot of people really trusted her with recommendations when it came to products. Were you guys someone who follows, you know, was it makeup TikTok or makeup influencers over on TikTok for your recommendations when it comes to what to buy? I feel like TikTok is just, it's too short for me to get my makeup recommendations for, and maybe I'm just alone there, but I tried TikTok for a little while and it's just not for me. YouTube Shorts I'll do every now and then, especially if I'm like feeding her, but even then it's just like too short to get any information, especially when it comes to to a product and like the quality of it's too fast, or I have to watch them literally if there is a review I'm curious about. I'll have to watch it like 10 times to take in all the information because it goes so quickly. I do really love YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikToks, those type of content. I do love them for tutorials because I've definitely gotten into it, as you guys saw on my Instagram, bringing it over to YouTube a little bit, but I love it for tutorials because it's nice and quick, and I like to watch tutorials more so for inspiration when it comes to combining look or creating looks as opposed to like copying the exact look. So that fast doesn't bother me. I suppose it would if you were trying to copy them. It's like, hey, slow down. But at least with YouTube, you can pause it. Anyway, so I really like it for tutorials because it allows me to watch it really quickly, see the end result, see how it all looks together. Oh, I gotta put an inner corner highlight on. Of course I would forget that. Let's do that really, really quick because this girl is done. I'm gonna take Maine, which is that pinky shade, the lightest shimmer in the palette. We're gonna put it right in here. So even this pinky light, it's not even translucent, but like iridescent type of shade, is very pigmented. And honestly, is a little shifty. Like, yeah, it's pink in general, but depending on how you shift, it can almost be like a soft champagne pink or like a really almost hot pink. Maybe not hot, like vibrant pink, but like a very intense pink, depending on like this is, yeah, it shifts, and almost a little bit of like gold, like a yellow in there, and then you turn and it's like there's the full pink. Very pretty. I'll blend that out a little bit more when I have my right hand and it's not busy, but very pretty inner corner highlight. So let me finish out my look and we can go back and close out this video and hopefully sum up my very scattered thoughts. Alright, so here we are, the finished look with the revamped Killer Purr palette. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about the look. I feel like it all blended so beautifully, and it's definitely a look that I could see myself getting with the original palette, except that it would have been different shimmers. But the original palette has a lot of very lovely matte shades in there for sure, but I love having the addition of the new shimmers in here. I feel like it just takes this palette up a notch, makes it a lot more fun to dive into, and still, I feel like there's still a lot of creativity when it comes to the mattes. I don't feel like anything is missing it that much for me when I dive into this palette. It still gives me the feel for the original, so I thought they did a great job with this revamp, and I'm very happy to see how nice a quality that the shimmers are. They're doing great things with their shimmers, and the mattes in here, honestly, I will say, I don't know if they just left the original formula alone and didn't kind of use the newer formula that they've been coming out with, but this formula was lovely to work with. Very pigmented, very easy to work with, very easy to blend and whatnot. So yeah, that is pretty much going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my very random, just all over the place thoughts when it comes to influencers and like their marketing to consumers, and the whole like balance that you have to have as an influencer, or at least my balance that I feel like I have to have as an influencer, a small influencer, trying to review a product but not oversell a product and all that stuff. I just felt like talking about it as I was listening to a couple videos and, you know, learning more about all of the drama that was going on. And like I said, I really just want to chat with it in a video so you guys can let me know your thoughts down below, and maybe by the time this video goes live, we'll have more information. If Chelsea has done her video, her deep dive on Mikayla, I'll leave it linked down below if you're curious or clueless like me as to what Mikayla has been involved with, because this is the first drama I was aware of. We can both learn about it together with her deep dive. So yeah, that is gonna do it for me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love sitting down as always to chit chat with you guys. Hope you enjoyed seeing Sophia. She is finally asleep, so yay for that. But yeah, very thankful she was pretty chill during the video and not too loud and distracting, or at least I hope she wasn't. But with all that said, that's gonna do it for me. As always, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKaty92 over there, where I post reels, up close eye pictures, swatches, funny reels, comical reels, all that sort of thing. LadyKaty92. And with all that said, I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye guys.